symptoms when it's a younger child. You'll notice that their handwriting, how they grip their pencil, and when they cut, you'll notice that they can't hold the scissors properly. So those are the basic symptoms of learning disability in younger children.
For older children, as they get older, I guess it's mostly their spellings. They make a number of errors like additions, omissions, etc. And also while reading, they are unable to break up words while they read, or they just tend to guess words if they can't read it. So they tend to guess the words.
We usually run assessments for the children. We observe them and we look at their notebooks to see the kind of errors that they make. Usually a school teacher or a class teacher is able to identify that because the children avoid reading and they make a lot of spelling errors, and some of them are very dazed in the classroom because they don't follow what's happening and what's being said. So it's fairly simple to identify a child, but then the diagnosis has to be through an official assessment. We calculate the ages, the reading ages of the child. We identify how much deficit there is between his real age and his levels of reading, spelling, comprehension, etc.
It's necessary to help them, build a strong base so that they're able to cope with a regular education system. So you're sort of giving them a foundation when they come for special classes and special education itself. It sort of gives them the confidence and builds their morality, as opposed to just focusing on schoolwork and grades and things like that.
Well, we use the kinesthetic strategy very often. We play a lot of games with the children, and for primary children, we, sometimes work with Play-Doh or, with cut and paste activities, because very often, they are making reversals. They see mirror images, so they confuse letters like B and D and B and Q. So we work with clay with the children, or we sometimes work with sand. And then besides that, we help them in general with worksheets, which are again very special for them, and so on.
The Indian society is probably the least accepting of a child having a learning disability. I think it's very hard for parents to admit that the kids have a problem and need extra help. So what I've seen at least, is they're very resistant to admitting it and accepting it and helping their kids. So they tend to struggle a lot longer before kids sort of come into special education classes and things like that.
Yeah, and there's too much pressure on the kids as well to perform. I think there's so much pressure on the kids to perform that they sometimes tend to succumb and they have very low self-confidence. And the parents are not very understanding, as she said. So
the parents have over the years now, started accepting. They have developed an acceptance about learning disability. And I observe ever since Amir Khan made the movie Tare Zameen Par, after that we've had, let's put it, a less harder task than before to convince parents that they ought to do something about their child's problems. They are accepting, but I have to say that they don't have faith in non-curriculum remediation all the time, because they feel that it's more important for children to do their homework. But the very fact is that they first need to teach their child to read and write, well, before the child can tackle homework. So that's something that's very difficult for us as professionals to convince parents and say, no, give us some time, give us a year or give us 6 months so that we can help your child.
So what improvements does a child see by attending these special classes?
Well, I would say that they have an overwhelming improvement in their reading skills and spelling as well. And they start comprehending things better. Because usually when they don't have special help, they're sitting in a class and it's not possible for their teacher to be able to ascertain whether they are understanding or not. It's only at the exam time that, when the worksheets are given or when an examination paper is given, that they are able to know that the child hasn't been, understanding. So what we do is that we very definitely help them towards, comprehension and the knowledge.
I think with a couple months of remediation, you see them building self-confidence and self-esteem. So when you see them coming into classes, you suddenly see them smiling more and laughing more in classes and being more relaxed. So I think with special ed classes, especially here, it's more like building a repertoire between the child and the teacher, so that the child starts to view education as fun as opposed to just mugging up and being able to write a definition clearly.
I think it's now possible to have a lot of professions that are, ready for the children, and there are colleges and schools that are also accepting of children with dyslexia. So I know quite a few children who have gone into hotel management, for example. Some of them have made excellent graphic designers because they have good visual spatial skills. Some of them have become musicians, entertainers. A lot of professions are open to them. Yes, I think schools sometimes are pretty cruel to children who have learning disability. Even in spite of the fact that schools have learning labs or resource centers, sometimes the children are discriminated against by their own classmates, by their peers, who taunt them or pass sarcastic statements about how they need extra help or they're plain stupid. So that kind of thing goes on in mainstream schools quite often. And the solution is to sensitize the other children about learning disability, and not just the teachers and the parents. We have to sensitize their peers towards that.